All right, so welcome in everybody. We are a minute, almost 2 minutes in, and we're going to see if anybody shows up. This is, I think, my second or third time going live. I'm not exactly sure, but um, I am here to talk about. So I read something earlier, and it talked about how nature abhors a vacuum. And so this comes from science, right? Where, a vacuum. Are you okay up there? So, just like a vacuum, nature is going to pull in whatever is near, right? And so, when we are letting go of something, when we are letting go, oh, we do have some people here. Hello, welcome. I can't see the chat though. Type something in the chat if you can see me and hear me. It does say that 6 people are here. I thought I was talking to myself for a moment. I do that as well. But yeah, nature abhors a vacuum. And so whenever we are in a season of letting go of something, whether you are letting go of a certain mindset, whether you are letting go of a relationship, you're going through a divorce or something. Ah, there we go. Welcome. Hello. Thank you for the smiley face. I wasn't able to see the chat. But whether you're going through whether you are letting go of habits, we're coming up on the end of the year now, and a lot of people, they like to start new habits at the new year. So we're letting go of habits, we're letting go of thoughts. You may be letting go of a relationship, a job. Life is going to send you something to replace that. And so I'm live, so don't say nothing crazy. No, life is going to send you something to replace that. And if you're not intentional about what you replace it with, you are going to repeat those same thoughts and patterns. I don't do tarot. I'm sorry, Alex. I don't do tarot. I don't know how. I'm sorry. But if you need help with something, or if you have a question for me, please drop it in the chat. My name is Jewel, and I'm a life coach based in Atlanta, Georgia. But yeah, what's going on with you, Alex? Why do you need a tarot?
I was gonna say that means that some people like trust your judgment if they're asking you to read their tarot cards.
Yeah. So yeah, what's going on, Alex? Maybe we can help based on what you have going on. But yeah, if you don't replace it with something, you're gonna default back to those old patterns. And so you don't have to fear loneliness or emptiness or anything like that. You have to use that empty space as a sacred space to, you just want to know if it's a good idea to move. Okay, to another country. Okay, so what will moving to another country, what would that do for you? And what would staying in whatever country you're in, what would that do for you? What would that do for you? Because you don't need a tarot reading. You know the answer, and you don't need anybody to confirm it either. But what would moving to another country do for you?
I'm going to shell these real quick. I'll be back.
Okay. Yeah, I want to know, what would that do for you? Because sometimes we second guess ourselves. We know the moves that we need to make, and we look for someone else to give us permission. Whereas, like, you don't need a tarot card to give you permission, you don't need a life coach to give you permission. You are the permission slip for yourself. You are the permission slip. So if you have a desire to move to another country, whether that's opportunities or whatever it is, the idea of moving to this other country like there's something there that you desire, and I'm not sure what it is. I'm waiting to see if you will share. But yeah, you are the permission slip. And and deep in our heart, we know the things that we need to do, but it's like we need a confirmation or affirmation from something outside of us to confirm what we know in here. And I went through the same thing myself. So I don't need a tarot. It helps to make decision better, maybe easier. Okay, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. That can bring some comfort, but I want to let you know, Alex, you are the permission slip. You get to decide. You get to decide, and you don't need any external affirmation. One thing that I like to do is I like to think of I like to, and I'm gonna tell y'all, I'm going to tell you, I did this in my marriage. So I'm divorced, and I really struggle with making a decision, to divorce, to the point to where I was considering having a tarot card. Hey, Heather, welcome. Christopher, the lawful, saying repent. But um, I did this when I was making a decision, as to if I was going to file for divorce. And I closed my eyes and I thought of my life, um, staying in that marriage, what would my life look like? What does it feel like? And I envisioned and I felt what that felt like. And I did the same if I filed for divorce. I did the same. And I imagined and envisioned what would my life look like? What would my life feel like, right? And I'm going to tell you, it was not an easy decision to file for divorce. But in my heart of hearts, that feeling that I got, I knew I needed to file. I knew I needed to file. It was a very easy decision to stay in the marriage. So I'm saying all that to say, if you are to move or not. Now, there may be some challenges if you stay in your I was getting a phone call. Can you hear me now? Let me know if you can hear me. But yeah, even as a life coach, like my job is not to give you the answers. I don't have the answers to everything. I don't even have the answers to my own life. But I can, shake your mind up a little bit so that, okay, thank you. I can shake your mind up a little bit so that the answers will present themselves, you know? And so the answers lie within you. Maybe you can just, go quiet for a moment, go internal, and silence your mind, silence the external world. And then maybe, not maybe, the answer will present itself. Yeah. Yep. And so, we have self-doubt in our decisions sometimes. And I mean, say you decide to leave and move to the other country, and it's just a decision. If you decide to stay, that's one decision. If you decide to leave, that's another decision. So I mean, it's just a decision. There's not a right or a wrong decision. If you stay in your and if you stay in the country that you are in, you may have this experience, and then if you leave, you may have this experience. So which experience do you want? Which experience do you want? But yeah, if you are joining me, this is my second time live on here, and I didn't even know I had this feature. So let me know where you're joining me from. I am curious to know where I am curious to know where everybody is from. It's complicated. There are a lot of uncertainties. Yeah. Yeah, I will definitely agree with you on that. However, Alex, in a world of uncertainty, you need to have certainty in here, right? Because there are factors you can control. There's like controllables and uncontrollables. And the controllables are me. I get to decide how I'm going to experience this life, right? I get to decide how to experience the experiences in the uncertain world. I get to decide how I'm going to interpret and experience those things that come my way, right? And also, in a world of uncertainty, I am certain of myself and my capabilities. And so, when you are facing, situations and seasons of unknown, you need to bring the known into the unknown. So it's like, okay, all right, the world feels very uncertain now. Like, what am I certain of? What am I certain of? And you bring that foundation into the uncertainties. As long as you have, a good foundation and certainty in here, like it's always principles over circumstances. You're based in Australia. That's pretty cool. That's very cool. But yeah, always principles over circumstances. Always, always, always. And whatever season you are experiencing a situation, a circumstance, like there's always a path forward, and you always have it within you, the equipment, the capabilities, to move forward on those things, because the reality is that we're always going through something. We either just come out of a challenge, we um, are currently facing a challenge, or we're about to face a challenge. And so just know, in these complications, don't let that discourage you. Don't let that discourage you. Everything, the things that we go through, we grow through. We grow through them. I've been through the ringer. I've really been through the ringer, and you cannot allow yourself to succumb to those things. And the more you give power to those external situations and these external things, you diminish your power in here. You diminish your power in here. What would be the best strategy to avoid procrastination and be more firm and quick in decision making, particularly when you know moving is a right decision? I guess I'm on a comfort zone now. Yeah, I have that ability to bring that out of people, Alex. So, to avoid procrastination, is procrastination just not indecision? Is it just not indecision? And so you can't be double minded in the decisions that you make. And back to this example with me deciding to divorce. I did not make the decision until I was sure. If I was going to stay in the marriage, I was going to be full in, 2 feet in, all in, right? If I was going to divorce, I was, both feet out the door. And so, procrastination comes when we have not made a full decision. We're still kind of like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And yeah, I mean, it's you just decide. We make it a lot more complicated than what it is. You first decide and make a decision in your mind. Yeah. And let's see, a decision. I want to make sure I have the proper definition. But I think it's just a resolution of the mind, you know? Yeah, a conclusion or resolution reached after consideration. And so, yeah, there may be some things that you need to consider, but you just need to, settle them, resolve them, decide, And I will say another thing when it comes to trusting yourself and building up your trust, your building up your self trust. You need to keep your word to yourself, because that also says to your mind, like if you say, like, I'm going to the gym. I did this morning. I went to yoga. I'm going to yoga. And I wanted to lay back in the bed. I wanted to go back to sleep. I was a little tired, but I said, I'm going to yoga. And I made a decision. I came to a resolution in my mind, and I got up and I went to yoga. So whatever decisions that the strategy is making a decision. Yeah. And a lot of times, we avoid making a decision, and we call it procrastination. We call it procrastination, and that just wastes a lot of time, you know. And so, yeah, you just need to come to a decision. You need to be firm on it. It's like sitting in two chairs. Like you are you're in this chair, or you're in this chair, right? And so you can't straddle the chair and be in both. You need to pick one. You need to pick one. And then another thing, I'm just sharing things as they come to my mind. Like, yes, we cannot see the full path that we're going to take, right? Like, I'm sure, once you make this decision, like, there's going to be some other decisions that need to be made. Oftentimes, the path lights as you take it. So, it's like, okay, well, I'll make this decision. Like, I don't know what comes after that. Well, when you make one decision, you'll have enough data that you need to analyze, or whatever. And then that helps you make the next decision. So it's like you driving from, um, one side of Australia, like the eastern side of Australia, to the western side. Your headlights are not gonna show you all the way to the other coast of the country, right? Your headlights only go so far, and so you make decisions, based on what you can see. And as you move, you the path will be illuminated. I feel like I keep postponing marriage and having kids. I feel like it's a big responsibility to have kids. I have financial capacities to cover the charge. Have you had that experience? So, have I had the experience of marriage and kids, or have I had the experience of financial capacity? That's another procrastination. Yeah. So, I will say this, like, there's never a right time. You just decide that the time is, you decide when the time is. And I mean, sometimes, like, especially when it comes to kids. Oh yes, I'm a mom of five. Yes, definitely. Definitely. So yeah, you just make a decision. You just make a decision. And I was gonna share that, sometimes, the decision becomes a result from our actions, if you get where I'm going, right? And that wasn't really an intentional decision, right, to have children. But if that's the desire of yours, again, it's just a matter of making a decision. The same thing when it comes to marriage. And marriage and kids aren't for everybody. They're not for everybody, but if that's something that you desire, yeah, yeah. But why do you feel you are postponing it? Is it something that um you feel like you're afraid of, or, and I'll give you some comforting, reassuring words. I mean, every parent experiences that. There is no, you can read all the parenting manuals, you can read like every parenting book, like nothing prepares you for that. Maybe I'm afraid of losing my freedom. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. That's completely understandable. That's completely understandable. And I wouldn't say you would lose freedom, but maybe what if your freedom just maybe looked a little different? Right? Yeah. I think freedom looks a little different when you become a parent. It does. But it's a beautiful thing, you know, it's a very joyous time. And also remember it's temporary. You know, that season is very temporary. And so again, you know, not children are for everybody. So, you know, if you aren't um willing to acknowledge that, you know, um not everybody can do that, and that's okay. That's okay. But yeah, your freedom, it just might look a little different. It just might look a little different. And yeah, same thing for marriage, you know. Same thing for marriage. There is no manual, and every person, I think it's safe to say, has, you know, has considered those things, you know, because you are now you're co-creating with and I'm referring to the marriage. You're co-creating your life with someone else now. There's someone to consider now. It's not just, you know, like if you're single now, you know, you're like, I'm moving to another country or whatever, like I'm gone. Like you can do that. But if you have a life partner, a wife, you know, um, you you have to consider that person. Another problem is she's gorgeous, but I have a feeling she might be getting a bit old to have a big family with her. I would you love to have at least 4 kids. Oh, Alex, have you seen there are women like having babies at like 50 now. My friend, so I'm 42. My friend, she just had her first child a couple months ago at 42. Um, who else? How old is Rihanna? Let me see something real quick. So yeah, Rihanna is 37, and yeah, she has what she got 3 kids now. I don't really follow it much, but yeah, like okay, you 42 too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I mean, you know, there are it's not what it used to be back in the day. It's not. It's not. And I think the advantage that you have at 42 now, because the parent that, like, I became a parent at 21. My oldest, she is 21 now. I became a parent at 21. So the parent that I was at 21 and the parent that I am now, like, completely different people, right? And so, you know, you said you have the financial capacity now, you have the even the maturity. You know, just because we're 42, that doesn't mean everybody's mature. But, you know, you do have to have a certain maturity once you become a parent. But, you know, I wouldn't say that age is a factor. There are many, many people having babies at um, you know, mature ages. December 82. Okay, January 83 here. So we are like basically the same age. Yeah. And you want 4 kids. Yeah. So is she if you decide to move overseas, like will she be moving with you or What's the story behind that? I'm going to take some water in as well. But yeah, it's just everything is just a decision. It's just a decision. Okay, so yeah, she's going to be coming. Well, that's good. That's good. So it sounds like you just need to make a decision. That's what that sounds like. It sounds like you just need to make a decision. And, it's okay if you don't know what you want. There's also no rush in making a decision. But at the same time, and you can tell she has the motherhood in her DNA. Oh, that's so sweet. That's sweet. Yeah. I mean, it's just a decision. That's all. That's all. That's all. That's pretty cool. So yeah, I have like I said, I have five, and they are 21. My oldest is 21. The next is so 21, 14, 13, soon to be 11, and 9. So 21, 14, 13, 11, 9. And as you see with those last four, um I had those back to back. And so, yeah, 9, 11, 13, 14. So they're what they call stair steppers. And so it seems that that's what you want as well. And I will tell you, in the beginning when they're babies, like at one point, I think they were like, uh, so I had like a newborn, a 2-year old, a 4-year old, and a 5-year old. That was rough. That was rough, okay? That was very rough. It did require a sacrifice. Our freedom did look different, but it was a very temporary season. It was very temporary. And so, you just have to make a decision and line up with that. Yeah. I'm glad you came on here because I wasn't sure if anybody was going to come because, like I said, this is like maybe my second or maybe third time being live. And I said, well, let's just come on here and let's see what's going on. And you showed up, and look what has happened. And so I say all that to say, um as you continue to show up in life, everything that you need is going to be provided, like the provision, the guidance, the things that are dropped in your spirit, those, and the right proper dosage is going to, it's going to come at the right time. It's going to come at the right time. At the right time. But you have to take the first step. You take the first step, and the bridge appears beneath your feet. You take the first step and life meets you there. Yeah. Is it too late to have a first kid? It's never too late. Well, first of all, it's never too late for a man, right? But I mean, I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but like there are plenty women that are having babies after 40. Absolutely. I just told you my friend, I think she might even be 43, or she might be, I think she maybe have turned 40. I know she's turning 43 before the end of 2025. Yeah, she's turning 43 before the end of 2025. And she just had a baby. The baby's like 2 months old. No, the baby's like a month. A month. Who else? My cousin. My cousin, his wife, she just had so that was her third. No, that was her second baby. She had her second baby at 40. She's 48. Like, she's not a blood relative, but she married my blood relative. And she's 48 and their baby is like 8 months now. She's 48. She's 48. Who else? My uncle. Now, this is my uncle. He had baby at 50. He had a baby at 50. I can say this because my family doesn't watch my YouTube channel. But yes, he was getting lost in the sauce, okay, and had a baby at 50. And so now he's like he's close to 70 now, if not 70. He might be like 69 or something. But yeah, anything is possible. You just got to make a decision and you got to line up with it. If you keep worrying about these things, like that's just procrastination, that's just delay. And I mean, you saying, is it too late to have a first kid at 43? Like, there is plenty of evidence to the contrary. I just gave you personal evidence, personally. And think about the people that we don't know. So absolutely. 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 If you just join the chat, I see some others. Well, I see another person is here. If you just join the chat, let me know where you're from. My name is Jewel, and I'm a life coach. I'm based in Atlanta, Georgia, and this is my second time going live. You okay? Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you also being so vulnerable in this chat and just sharing about yourself and your participation and your questions as well. And the thing that I like about coaching, like it helps me too, because I'm also like talking to myself when I'm sharing with somebody. But yeah, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being here. But I say go for it. I say go for it. I mean, you only live once. Life is so beautiful. There is so many beautiful and delicious experiences that we can have. And again, at the end of the day, you get to decide how you want to experience these life experiences. And you and your future wife, y'all can have a beautiful pregnancy, a beautiful marriage. All of those things can be very beautiful. You just have to decide to see them as so as well. Yeah. So, Alex, before I go, like, is there any type of do you have any video suggestions or any like type of content that you would like to see as a subscriber on my page? At this point, I'm kind of just like putting stuff out there and like, based on my experience, but I'm and some videos do better than others, but I'm not exactly sure like exactly what do people want. I'm still figuring that out. So, do you have any video topic suggestions or anything that you would like to see that would be helpful for you? Also, I do one-to-ones. If you check the link in my bio, it's there as well. If you want if you want a personal one-on-one as well. But yeah, any suggestions as to anything you'd like to see? A lot of people are having issues with finding their partners. Okay. Look, you said, not me though. Not me. Okay, and then so I guess it'd be a good idea. Okay. All right, so maybe qualifying yourself for a partner, or like positioning yourself for a partner. I'm writing this down. Yeah. Okay, I can do that. Okay, that's cool. So I think so yeah, since I'm divorced, like I have a little bit of a liberated view on this now, because like I said, I have been married before. I was married for a long time, and I have a little bit of different perspective on relationships, but a healthy one. And I think that's much needed today, because it's a lot of hurting people out here. So I like that topic suggestion. I like that. All right. So anybody else have anything? Any um any final questions? I see another person came in. Any final questions before we cut this thing off? This was pretty cool. And we've been going for 38 minutes. Wow. All good. Yeah, cheers. Enjoy your is it Friday evening where you are? I think it's Friday evening there. I had a client in Australia before, and it was a couple, and they would wake up. So it must be mm, depending on where they were. When it was like noon where I was, and maybe it was like 3 or 4 a.m., or maybe it was like 1 o'clock where I was. It was like 3 or 4 a.m. Where they were. They were in Australia, and they used to get up and yeah, they used to get up and do that call. Anyway, all right. Well, happy Friday to you. Enjoy the rest of your night. If you are here in my time zone, enjoy the rest of your Friday. I'm going to be hosting a sleepover tonight with 5 extra girls at my house. So I will be very busy. So I got my yoga time in. We had a beautiful exchange here. And again, I appreciate you being here. And yeah, y'all have a beautiful and blessed day. All right, and I'm gonna figure out how to turn this thing off. All right, guys, take care, and thank you for joining.